it has been amazing for my leadership journey. Not only do you learn all the technical skills that you need to really understand the landscape of healthcare and how complex it is, learning finances, learning about payment methods, but you really also get to learn the other skills about how to lead people through this journey that has really helped me advance my career, but also help my teams grow stronger.
This program has been actually great for me. As a young leader, there were a lot of things that I thought up front I had understood, but I think that this program has really given me the context to understand those things much better. So a great example is the part of the course that we're doing right now, in looking at how we deal with relationships, how we deal with people that answer to us, how we deal with our leadership sort of above us. So I think that this has been a really good part of me understanding how to be a better leader.
So the Ochsner Tulane Certificate MMM program has really helped me in my leadership roles, especially in the office. I think handling difficult situations between other urologists, mid-level providers, office staff, administrative personnel, and really finding a way to get the team working efficiently as a team. I didn't really have a really structured groundwork before. Now I feel like I have that to fall back on, and it's really helped us work through some difficult situations and come out better.
I think that the Ochsner OLI program has supported my leadership journey because it's helped me learn a set of skills to help me navigate leadership. I started out this course kind of at a lower level leadership, and I've been able to kind of build on that to help build my division and pursue other opportunities within the institution to help me grow.
I really enjoyed and appreciated learning different aspects of being in a leadership role. You know, we sometimes get put in these positions because perhaps we're good at what we do and we excel at what we do, but managing people, understanding, communicating, all those type of things that are necessary for a leadership role are not necessarily innate in the training of medical specialties. But we never know how to do these things. We think we know how to do it, but it really wasn't until I got in these courses, not just this one, but other ones that the system offers, that opened my eyes like, God dang, I really didn't know how to do these things. And I personally noted a change in how I behave towards the people that would like work or report to me. And my leaders have mentioned like, man, you're doing such a great job now, and those type of things. And even the team that works under me have noticed a change on how I behave. I had no idea that I didn't know how to do it. And so it's exceptionally important that we receive this type of training.
Yeah, in order to recognize this shift from a clinical role to a leadership role, it does require kind of a mental reset. You know, we're all taught in medical school really how to take care of patients, and it's a very top-down approach for the most part. But when you're a leader, that doesn't really work. You can't go into a meeting and say, "This is what I want. This is my expectation." You've got to use the skills that are taught in this class to build consensus and kind of lead more from the bottom up.
The MMM program has helped my leadership journey in really closing the gap between the science they teach you in medical school, the patient care that they teach you in residency, but really getting to behind the things that happen in day-to-day in medicine, whether it's insurance or finance or leading another group of people in a service line or a department, how you really do those things as a physician and also still take care of your patients.
My favorite part, honestly, is in getting to know my colleagues better. We have some amazing people in our class. I've built not only professional but personal relationships with them, and also just hearing their side of things. You know, we kind of all come from different angles, but in the end, we're all facing similar issues, and to kind of hear them troubleshoot helps me get through the day better.
My favorite part of the program has been the networking, the bonding with the other members in the class. Getting to know people across the system and in other departments, and getting to know them, I feel really well. And seeing the shared experiences, the shared common problems, and we're all kind of going through the same thing. When you see each other in the hallways or at meetings, there's a bond there that I know that will be there for years to come.
So my two favorite parts of being in the Tulane OLI program has been, number one, just the relationships I've made with my colleagues. Many of these people I would never encounter in a regular day of work, yet every month or so we get to interact with them, and I've really made some great friends, and professionally people I can call on when needed, and just it's nice to have a network of friends that I didn't have before, and that's been huge. The other part is listening skills, and I know that sounds simplistic, but the ability to actively listen and not try to interject your thoughts into what someone else is trying to tell you. It's amazing how doing that allows solutions to problems to just kind of naturally develop, and that's been a huge plus from this program for me.
I think my favorite part of the program so far has been working with a group of physicians, a group of administrators, and really forging ahead a plan that we thought would help to increase the wellness of Ochsner employees in general. And being able to formulate that plan, bring it to the executives of the system, and actually see some of those things come into fruition is really, really rewarding.
I think one of the great aspects has been being able to interact with our colleagues and get relationships with people that I know but don't always see every day. And the other aspect that's been really, I think, beneficial is the ability to take a step back and be introspective. And take a look and see, hey, these are places where I failed on my leadership journey, and kind of relive those, which is not easy to do. That's kind of hard to look at that. But then take those experiences and that introspection and use the tools that this class has taught to say, okay, what would I have done differently? And know, hey, I think I could have been a better leader because of this class than I was back then.
My favorite part of this entire program has been working with the same people over and over and over again and getting to know leaders from the entire organization. They're physicians that I had never really interacted with a lot, and now we all know each other extremely well. Great people to rely on, to have contacts with across the system in different specialties, to be able to pull on them for different pieces of information, as well as resources for just knowledge and other aspects.
It's, I think, been one of the greatest things I've done here, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think I'd be where I am today without the program. The multiple kind of skill sets through a broad range of topics has really helped, kind of has brought a lot of exposure and allowed me to apply things to various situations. It's really been a great, great program.
The most valuable aspect of this program by far is doing it with the cohort of people that I've been in the group with. The relationships made in this program far exceeds any of the other skills learned, even though those are incredibly valuable. But these relationships will carry with me the rest of my leadership journey at Ochsner, and these will be my peers and my co-leaders for the next 20 years.
It basically gives you an entire toolkit that you're able to use as a leader. As you interact with different problems and different situations over time, and Lord knows healthcare is very, very volatile and has changed a lot during the past few years. It gives you an entire kit that you're able to use and pull on from time to time with different interactions, different issues, different aspects of healthcare as you go along. So I think it's been very valuable to have that information at hand.
I kind of think back to very early on adopting a lot of the skills from the program to help the anesthesia department kind of overhaul their operations, which was a very transformative process, I would say, for all involved. It took us about 2 years to do so, and we were able to kind of use a lot of the skills that were taught in the class during that time to really help drive some change that I don't think we would have made without this. And it's nice to still kind of see, I guess, the outcome of the new program and how it's still working in the difficult times of COVID and hurricanes and things like that.
I can think vividly back to 2.5 years ago when we were going through some challenges with efficiencies in the EP lab. And it was the time we'd finished the first part, we were with Patrick and Reed. And it was tough conversations, frustration for a lot of people, and dialing in the specific tools, appreciative inquiry, check-ins, and then doing the relational mapping. And seeing, the picture we just saw today where you saw the person who is touching everyone and seeing, okay, this person is touching everyone on these workflows. This is where we need to focus. And it led to a wonderful outcome. So it was great, but I specifically remember dialing in the specific tools and getting people to be open to the process. It wasn't my ideas, it was the group's ideas. And it was a beautiful thing to be part of.
I think that getting to know the other people in the cohort was very useful, especially during the most stressful times in COVID. I think the other part of it is really learning to innovate and work with other people in the cohort. So I really think that the strength of the course has really been the interaction with other people who are at similar stages in their career, and being able to have a group of people that you can sincerely bounce things off of. And so I think before the course I did not necessarily have that. Now I have 30 people that I can just pick up the cell phone and call them, and it turns out that they're strategically placed throughout the organization, so it's very helpful. It's very helpful to be able to do that.
It's interesting because you develop these relationships with them, and then you experience sort of like similar experiences but from different perspectives, and you see it in different departments, and you learn from what they have done or their experiences and how other people react instead of just doing it by yourself, or people who are not necessarily in your field. So people that you interact with on the daily, in your own community, in your own facility, I think it makes a big difference. It's sort of like we all grow together as a community.
Building on the relationships with the folks in the class has definitely been a great kind of benefit to the program. I think that'll serve everybody well going forward. Also, just knowing that the organization is really invested in our success, not only as individuals, but as a group of physicians as well. It's been really, really good.
It was tough trying it for the first time with a group that I've considered tough. And seeing it flip with the appreciative inquiry and where it got to from where it started was pretty neat. An amazing experience.
I would strongly recommend it. In fact, even if you don't think you have leadership aspirations, I think that it's an extremely good course. It's an extremely good course. It's well worth the time.
Yes, I absolutely recommend this program for those with leadership aspirations. I think you learn a good basic set of skills for leadership, and it also gives you pause to think about how you want to progress through the system.
I would definitely recommend this program for people who want to get more involved in leadership. With the caveat, it is not insignificant. It is a major commitment in time. Ochsner has been wonderful about protecting the time for us to do this, but it's still time away from your practice, and you have to be all in. But if you are serious about it and you want to really develop these skills, I can't imagine a better way to do it.
Absolutely, I think this has been a wonderful experience. I think this is definitely well worth the time.
Yeah, I highly recommend this program. I think it's incredibly worthwhile and will help you with wherever you want to go.
I think it's an obvious answer that if you want to have leadership aspirations, you should do some sort of training. So it's like definitely, right? It made an impact so significant on the way I do things and the way I think about things that when I see some of my colleagues, I was like, God, they should go through what I went through so that they understand. And not necessarily if you have like big ambitions, but everybody should have just a little bit. Because as a provider, you lead a team. So you should have some basic knowledge of how to communicate with others at the different levels. So it definitely yes for somebody who has aspirations of like running a team, a department, a section.
Well, I highly recommend the program for anyone who has a desire to become more of a leader, because the information provided, the skills that you build, the relationships you build will help you tremendously going on within the organization and beyond.
I would definitely recommend the N program. It's really made a big difference as far as honing my skills, being able to advocate for myself, for other employees, physicians, and also enhancing the way that I take care of patients.